having a rest after some welding on the car. I'm going to show you what I've been doing because it's the first welding job that I've done, and it's taken me a lot longer than I hope in the future welding jobs will take. And the reason for that is I've made some mistakes. I've been blowing through, and then I've been fixing that, blowing through again at times, chasing that. Of course, probably all kind of crazily wrong, but along the way I've been trying with copper behind, without, just with the MIG wire. And between the two, I think that with copper is better. You put a plate behind the hole, and then you get a much bigger weld, and you get a quicker fix on what you've been doing. Been a lot of grinding back, making a big noise. But I've, it's probably taken 3 or 4 sessions to get to where I've got to now on this underside patch that it's about the size of palm of your hand in the spare wheel floor pan. So I'll take you there in a minute and show you. I'm just having a rest on the floor.
I thought this week would be a correct time.
There we do, just pressed in with a thumb with dirty hands around the hole, which gives me a template of grime. Completely new to this. So I've drawn out a template. There's obviously some contours in here, so I'm not sure this is going to work really, because we've got a big lip here going up, so obviously that's going to elongate the cut I need. This is all flat. I'm going to cut this bit out first, I think. Leave that bit, much extra, bigger chunk of metal, higher as well, and then we can see what we need to be doing. And I'll cut it bigger than I need to, and then we can go from there. That's what I've done. So I've had that in the vise, giving it a bit of a curve to try and match the curve here. Obviously I've built it, cut it oversize, but luckily, because I've got a couple of parts where it's tight, so this area I won't cut down anymore, but under there I will. And I'm just using this little kind of metal cutter. I've tried a nibbler, that there, bought it 10 quid off eBay, absolute pants, doesn't nibble at all. Well, spend 10 minutes and you get about a centimetre. So back to the old-fashioned tools. Takes a bit more care. So yeah, and it's a bit, you've got to obviously tidy up a bit more after, because it does tend to bend the metal if you're not careful and leave frayed bits. But can you see, I had to use the grinder there to get the last bit off. Then when I get down to the last few millimeters, I whack it in the vise and use the sander. It's going to take a long time, but I'm quite enjoying it. Oh look, Kitty's hungry. It is tea time. Alright, better go and feed them. There's another one somewhere. Well, it's in. Let's just hope that the metal around it, so I've cut back enough to get the thick metal. I'm pretty sure 95% of it is going to be fine, but I just worry that I've come down to a previous repair here that did hold, that didn't blow through, then we repaired that earlier, but then up here did. So hopefully I'm worrying about nothing. We'll soon find out, I guess, as well. It's not quite, the shape isn't quite right here, but it's not the thickest metal, so with a couple of tacks in, I'm guessing it's gonna manipulate to where I want it quite easily. I mean, I've been bending it with my fingers at times, and in the vise very, very gently. Yeah, hopefully we'll get that welded in without any blow-throughs. Well, I was going to weld tonight, but I'd forgotten to sand back the edges to bare metal on the new piece and the surrounding bits. So I've been doing that. It's quite difficult as well when it's epoxy. You see, it's not perfect. It's been acetoned back, and that's the back end anyway. Acetone, get rid of all the grub that was on it. And there's the front, all in position. So I might get a couple of tacks on tonight just to see if what I've done here is any good. This is super late when it's gone midnight, and I've done some tacks and I carried on going for a little bit because I was enjoying myself. No major issues. Okay, the welds are brilliant. There's a blow through there, and there's a little one there, which is, where is it? Hang on. There, which is annoying because that's on a delicate piece. But all the others seem to be okay. Don't think there's any warpage yet. Got some nice clean joins as I'm going. What I did was, after a couple of tacks, it was folding. It was here wasn't great. It was moving in on itself. So I went around the other side of the car, and with the back of a rubber hammer, I pushed on that as I welded from the other side to get it back straight again. So yeah, not bad for a first job. Well, start of. So we'll keep going, and tomorrow hopefully we'll have it all welded in, and then we can grind it back and see how it looks. Well, getting there. There's holes. Oop. But yeah, I will grind it down now and see what's left, and go over it again, I suppose. Moderate success. I'm not sure whether the weld's just sitting up on top of the joins. I've been trying to get the wire through to kind of penetrate, but once you get a lot of these welds, it's then hard to get, and they bump up, it's hard to get in between them. That was a big blow through there, which I've managed to fix, I think. It looks messy, but I'll grind it back and see what it's looking like. Well folks, what do you reckon? I managed to get the contour here quite good. So where it matches, I managed to get a dip there. Of course, I'll get the metal drill to recreate the bung hole there. Now that it's safely in. I mean, it's not perfect. I've got some ripples here where I was a bit hesitant to sand back anymore on the crock. Well, I did the, oh, where's the other sander gone? I did the flap wheel first, not that one, the flap wheel was gone now. And then I used the 80 grit crock, which is a little bit hesitant on because it's very thin metal, but it was all right. It's taken it back nice, especially up around here. But I suppose there's a few little areas where I've just missed on the welds complete penetration. So I don't know. What do you think? Is that just do it and then you put a bit of filler over and away you go? I don't think there's any actual holes in the metal. I'll shine a light through later. I'll turn the front light off there, shine one through the back, and then you can see where, and I can mark then if there are any, but I don't think there are. And also what I've noticed is I haven't quite got the contour right, so this is good. That's kind of not too bad here, and then it's a bit upright here, and then it dips here. Sorry, yeah, it dips there, then it climbs up. So I wonder whether I can hammer and dolly this bit to match, or hammer this bit down. Yeah, there's your problem there, I think, and then it's flat there. Yeah, I'll have a think about that. It might be too late now that I've welded it all in. I don't know, because if you hammer it down here, isn't it just going to pop? If there's too much metal, isn't it going to pop up somewhere else? You know, usual faded grey grill, no damage on it, good condition. The trim is rusty and needs polishing. I'd say it's a plastic, but apparently not. Apparently it is like a coated, stainless coated. So I'll put that on the polishing wheel. I can't find my auto, what's it called, you know, the tube metal polish stuff. Can't find it, auto sol. But I've got a polishing wheel in the shed with all the different rouges, and I think I've done some stuff on that previously in other videos. So being very careful, I think I might give it a whirl on the you know, the softest one. See if it can get this kind of flash rusting off. I'll do one section, see if it works before carrying on with everything else. Well guys, I'm giving it the once over with the white ruse, which is the finest one of the lot. So if you've got a rough piece, you'd start with a kind of different colour. I can't remember the actual run of the colours, but one of these two most likely, and the medium reel. But I thought I'm going to just start off with this and see how it is on the finest one, rather than go head first in with a heavy one that might break it. And I'm quite happy with the result actually. There's a bit of flash rust in a couple of places, which I'll have to use the tougher one for that, yeah. But from previous experience, what I've noticed is you can go around and around and around, and you don't really get a huge benefit from doing that on an old piece. You know, I mean, it's already, I don't know, it's already 10 times better than it was. It's cleaned it all up, it's got it shiny. There are, like I said, some places where it's still, maybe I missed, or see this bit here is still dull, and that's nice and shiny. The edges, which are going to be unseen, are still dirty, so whether we do them or not, knowing me, I will do them. But I think that's the way to treat these things. It's an old car, it's not going to be perfect, it's not a new piece. And we just do it as a once over, and you get it shiny, and leave it at that, apart from the obvious you know, dirty stroke rusty bits that will need a bit more work. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that so far. Why I put when it was tacky, when it was still tacky now, about 6 hours later, but about 3 hours after I put it on, I got a sponge, one of these magic sponges. I guess any sponge would work, but this one's what I had hanging about. And what I did, I just swiped along each one, so that got rid of the paintbrush strokes, and it gave it a nice constant finish. These were more tricky to do. I don't know if I actually managed to get in all of there properly. It looks like I have done, can't remember. Yeah, but anyway, it spread the remaining tacky auto glim more consistently around everywhere, and I'd say that'll do. I mean, you know, who's going to come up to your grill and go, ooh, real close? Nobody, I don't think so. You know, it's about as close as anyone's going to get, and from there it looks absolutely fine. Right then folks, I'm on a roll with this sandblasting. This machine is now up and running properly. As you can see, I've done what's left of the cross member, where I've got a donor part to weld in here. So I've just blasted back to what's left of hopefully the remaining good part. Down here didn't make it, so we have got repairs to do all along here. But yeah, inside out, the reason I did this today is because whilst this is off, I wanted to get on the inside of what's left of the front valance. So we've got some good blasting gone on in there. Get the light. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'll give it a final to try and get rid of the remainder, and then we'll do the inside of the cross member as well. And we'll also do the front. I've done this once, sanding, but I left it too long, and it's, as you can see, I didn't do a hugely great job on it. So I'll blast that as well. Might just whack the weld through on for now. Yeah, then we need to do the sides. But yeah, I want to get this whole front end done. I've done the top, the slant panel, that's all good. Did that with fur tan, and it's held nicely. And then the bottom part there I did with red oxide at different various times in the restoration. Haven't done the sides. What are these called? These parts here. Anyway, they haven't been done yet either, but they're good. No welding needed there. And that's it now. Nothing more I can do until this evening. There we go. Right, coat the zinc primer inside of the front half of the front valance. It's going to be we're going to graft in a new valance halfway, which I've got in the rafters, and the cross member is good in parts. It's primed, and then we've just got to fix this part of it. Down there needs cutting out. Up here we have a new piece to weld in, and then of course that bit there as well needs replacing. A lot of work to do here, but we finally got it blasted and at least primed. And we need to do the inside as well. Where are we? Right then folks, quick update on the front end. I've epoxied it, got it back to bare metal, epoxied it. This is half the front valance, and there's the donor part, which has been red oxide temporarily just to keep it from corroding further. I'm going to cut that in half and graft it on, mainly because I'm just too lazy to take the whole thing off. Yeah, just for point of reference as well, you can see that the epoxy's gone on a bit thick, it's orange peeled. Issues with the spray gun. I used a 1.4 and I think it was gunked from some previous, I cleaned it, but it had hammerite in it previously, which I mentioned on a previous video. So I think the gun was duff, and also it was at 1.4. I should use 1.7 tip. It's orange peeled, which for primer, it's not the end of the world, because we can sand it back. We'll sand it back a bit anyway. Then you can put filler primer on, then your top coat. So yeah, not ideal, but not a disaster. And when we got around to the other side, the gun had sorted itself a little bit by then. It had cleared through whatever was blocking it, and the inside isn't as bad. Yeah, I was going to crack on and do this, but I've just remembered that whilst this is off, we need to be fixing this whilst I've got better access in there. Right then folks, tonight is one of those nights where life feels good. Last night I researched panel beating because I've got a front valance that had a big dent here and lots of other little dinks here and there. So with my new kit and this kind of stuff for the edges that were all warped as well, I've managed to get the worst of it out first try. I'm really happy. I didn't really film much before. I got it on films about how I treated the valance, so I'll drop that in so you can see where the dent was. But there's a big dent here, which I was very gentle with, and the one thing I've learned about panel beating is, after one go, is that you don't do any heavy stuff. You tap very gently, especially when you've got a thin piece like a valance, which maybe it's not thin, but it's you know, it's not very well supported. It's a long, big piece of metal really. So yeah, I mean, if you handle it in the wrong way, you can. It's almost like a wobble board. I almost said Rolf Harris then, but yeah, it's delicate. So still a long way to go, but I've got the worst of it out. And I think what I need to do next is use a slightly different hammer, which I don't have yet. And then you're on the dolly next, whereas I've been off it so far, doing all this. I'll be on it next. I haven't got many dollies. They're all curved, and I've been using the flat edge of the best of what I've got. I've got a flat edge there, and I've also got somewhere. I lost it now. I'll show you when I can find it. This one, and that's got a nice straight edge on it there. So I've been using that because it's a straight piece of metal, especially for the smaller ones where, you know, you've got like a dent, a small dent. So you can have this on the offside with the dent kind of showing there, and you tap in, make sure that's in the right place. And I found that worked quite nicely for the little ones, but this is a big one here and it's still not right. I mean, I can feel a dip there, so that still needs work on. That's come out really well. I mean, I think a lot of places would just probably fill this area and that'll be the end of it. But I'm happy with everything bar here. There was a big crease here, I've got that out. So yeah, I'm going to keep going. The worry about when you keep going is that you kind of make it worse and get back to square one. But I've had a couple of moments already like that, and I thought, oh, what am I doing? But it's actually worked out for the better. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with this. Enjoying panel beating. Well folks, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead tonight. More success than my second going over here. It looks worse than it is because the paint is obviously rippled and peeled away in places. So I mean, you rub your hand over that and it's not perfect, but it's a million times better than it was. That is just like give or take smooth. As you can see, it's bashed up, but I think I get that dent out there. That's, you know, that seems like it'll come out okay. But I'm going to keep going. Not tonight. I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I've actually done something which has actually worked. First time, which is rare. Yeah, you know, it's an old piece. It's not going to be bang on. And even the good side there. Yeah, that's good. That is good. That's not bad there. This is, yeah. So I can feel where there's still issues, but yeah, tap, 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 nice and gentle. It's amazing how much the metal moves with a few simple taps. So hence the caution. Oh my God. Right, quick update. Sandblasting. It's been going quite well. My blaster, I've forgiven it for its previous misdemeanors where it was blocking a lot. I wasn't really using the settings, the kind of valves and the right pressure, things like that. It's taken me a long time to get it right, but now I know what I'm doing and I can sense when it's blocking. It doesn't block very often anymore. It has done once tonight and I've been on it for about 2 hours. The compressor I've got is just about good enough to kind of give it the right pressure that it needs, but every, say, 3 or 4 minutes I have to let it catch up again. So a bigger compressor would make the job a bit quicker. But yeah, I had some moisture in the media and it blocked at the base of the so it takes about 10 minutes to unblock it, unscrew a few pipes, tubes, and get the pipe cleaner in and get the wet media out. But apart from that, it's been fine. So let's have a look what I've done tonight. So we've got the car on its side. As you know, last night we did this area down to about here, and maybe up to about there on the tunnel. Tonight we've carried on. We've done the second stanchion. We've come down all the way down here. We've done the handbrake. I think is it the gearbox holder or the handbrake tray, whatever that is. That plate there. Come up here. There's a lot of rust here, so that's maybe needs a little bit more. This chassis rail's all done. I've got as far as about done all this. Missed a bit there, haven't I? That one's done, and then I kind of might run out of media. So that tank I probably filled it to about there tonight, and it's given me a good. Maybe I was a bit exaggerating when I said 2 hours, 2-3 hours. I've probably been on it about an hour and a half, on and off. But it's done that. It's a tedious old job, but that's 2 nights and I've got that far. So I reckon another 3 nights maybe, you know, an hour and a half session, 2 hour session, and I'll get the back end done. But for now we're concentrating on, I'm just I'm not going to kind of go, oh, let's do this little bit, let's hop over there, let's just keep it consistent. And we'll do I might actually stop here, and then the very last piece of floor pan I'll spin the chassis on the spit to do that, because it'll be easier than crouching down there to do it. That's the beauty of having a spit. But yeah, there's no real problems. We've got one, let's have a look, what did I see? All right, what was I saying? Yeah, so it's had a bash there with some damage, and there's a slight hole in the chassis, so that'll need, I could try and tap that out and weld it back shut. The MIG should do that. And there's a thin part here. It seems quite thick. Let's hope it is. It seems very thick around it. So hopefully it won't go like the boot section, the spare wheel section did, where I ended up having to cut out a whole piece. I'm hoping that'll just seal with the MIG. Fingers crossed. Couldn't see any other holes anywhere. But yeah, quite happy with that. I'll put some metal prep on it now. which is a bit of a ball ache. You've got to brush it on, and then you've got to keep it wet, which is, I've been putting wet towels on it, blue towels, which is difficult. I think I'll just spray it tonight with the you know, spray can. 20 minutes, take it, get it dry, and then you're okay to leave it then. And then it goes, you get a slight flash on it, which apparently isn't an issue because the Pour 15 will go over that and it'll keep it nice and sweet for many years. Well folks, let me get this mask off a minute. So I can talk a little bit better. Oh, that'll do. New mask, and I've decided tonight, I finally finished blasting. I redid the bottom part because I wasn't happy with it. I didn't get all the previous Gravitex off in patches, so, and it had re-rusted around here somewhere, so I metal prepped it all, and I cannot find my my paint dispenser for the spray gun, and it's late and it's loud, so maybe as well I haven't got the proper thinner for spraying it on, so it's the bottom side. You're not going to see it, so I'm just going to paint it on. It's thick enough. It's going to be Gravitex over. So there we are. I've just started, and hopefully in a few minutes time I'll have the whole underside, midsection of the underside done, so it'll look a bit more completed. There we are, Sunday night, 9:30, firework night 2023. We're on the way. This stuff is the dogs. Nice and thick. I think it's going to protect this shell very, very well. And so far, I'm going to put 2 coats on, painting it on because of I don't have all the parts in my spray gun, and I don't see it being an issue, being that it's going to be covered over anyway. Yeah, halfway there.
It was the last time Titanic fare you well. When the Titanic had got alone, the captain he hollered all aboard. It was the last